is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, we made it to 2025, which yes means the Moistmas stuff is gone. 2024 has ended. Thank feck for that. Too much world content was produced in December, so this is going to be a litmus test to see if anyone's going to stick around for non-Gore World content. We're going to take a look at somebody who I've covered before, and they skirt the line between parody and not. So much, it becomes very tricky to tell when they're actually telling a joke, or whether they are baiting knowing that the baiting is going to get the responses, which they can use, so I guess it could be a grift as well, but maybe not, to drum up additional interest in their channel. When you have close to 2 million subscribers, you as a viewer, or a casual, would expect that channel to pull in considerable numbers when it comes to viewership. But when you are renowned for being a one-trick pony, let's say for example, hating women, that's a novel idea, isn't it? But hating them for reasons that to you are valid, but to those that you hate are seen as cope and insecurity. When you are that, you're renowned for being a one-trick pony, it becomes harder and harder for viewers, certainly casual ones and oikari like myself, to tell whether or not they're telling a joke, or whether that joke has a basis of fact and comes from their own inadequacies. I am, as you would have noticed from the thumbnail and the title, speaking of Pearl Davies, aka It's Pearly Things, on YouTube. Very successful channel. I've covered her before on this channel or on Omegon 2, I can't remember where, but I have, and I have said in the past that with a lot of what she has done, it comes across as somebody who is trying to muscle their way to what they consider the top to be by being a voice of reason for their particular argument, but being okay with using tactics like attacking appearance as a way of negating any validity to somebody's perspective and or opinion. As far as I'm concerned, that's weak. It's why during 2015 and earlier, creators like myself appeared with avatars, because it was never about what you look like. It should never be about look like, it should be about what you say. But when you inhabit a space on the internet where appearances are very important, whether that be with fake teeth, fake boobs, fake hair, all the makeup in the world, you're putting on a show, you're presenting yourself as something you're not, because natural beauty is out of the window. People like Pearl, well, Pearl can tell you that. And this is where the line between what is comedy, reality, cope, or truth gets blurred. More recently on Twitter, and this is where I had a bit of a chuckle, Pearl has been having a number of arguments with a number of people, commentators. Some have actually, I think, taken a break from social media entirely. So I'm not entirely sure if the words she said towards that particular person, I think Brittany Venti is one of them, carry any weight when they're no longer here at the moment. Although at time of recording they could well have come back, I wouldn't have known. I just remember seeing them post on their Twitter they were taking a break from all social media for a while, retiring. Back to the topic though, Pearl had hosted a awards thing, right? When you yourself are described as incredibly mid, having a stockier body than a stocky knockout boxer, for being quite tall, for not having the greatest of visages, let's say natural, having a dating history that makes you look tragic and like you have father issues, for somebody who thinks that women shouldn't have the right to vote, for thinking that women shouldn't be doing all they do to fit in or have what they want for their own self-esteem, appearances, rights out the window, this one seemed interesting. One of the main cruxes of Pearl's arguments is that a lot of those commentators, the right-leaning political ones especially, that post pictures of themselves looking resplendent, according to them and anyone that follows them that appreciates their, quote, resplendence, they are catfishing their viewers. So the 1 hour, 5 minute video she posted to Twitter, or was it a live stream? I think it was a live stream, wasn't it? I think it was. The one that she posted there, which will be linked down below in the pinned comment, came across as quite, well, intentionally baity. I mentioned she has 1.9 million subs, but her viewership isn't that great for the size of her channel. It fluctuates a fair bit, dipping quite low. Again, for her channel size, retention isn't all there. But considering the number of videos she's put out, live streams she's hosted, she's done very well for herself over the years. Especially because now she's known for, well, being stocky, hating anyone that is argued to be pretty, and, well, going after anyone that has the very thing she doesn't have, whether that be married, with children, or just living a better quality of life, or having success that she hasn't had, which she has had. She has appeared on television multiple times, arguing her position, for example, about women's right to vote. It's a touchy subject for some people. I firmly believe in No Lives Matter, so you should all have the right to vote for it. I believe everyone's voices are equal, regardless of anything you've done in your life. If you're right about something, you are right about it. Reductio ad absurdum still applies, but I'm not going to say what you're now thinking, chat. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Don't that. For once, let's start this year by not being unnecessarily and pointlessly pedantic. Make that the resolution, a New Year's one for yourselves. Back to the 1 hour, 5-minute video that I'm not going to be doing a response to because it would be cancer. It would take far too long. The video itself entertained me to no end. It entertained me because it's lovely to listen to Pearl try and use mental gymnastics for her 2024 awards ceremony, right? The comments underneath, yeah, she knew she was doing this on purpose. She's baiting everyone out for the attention. She has a blue check mark. I have no doubt in my mind she's earning money off of this. There's no community note, so there is that at the very least. Give it time, there will be one, and she'll earn sod all from it. There are a lot of creators who have more recently started posting their earnings onto Twitter from what they get from being, a part of that. And I certainly will not hate any player that earns money on that platform. Community notes, I believe, negates the ability to earn money from your post, which is why I'm surprised Pearl didn't get community noted. I will, however, go through a few tweets of interest that I think cover this quite well, and also show where Pearl's mind is at. Because to me, this all comes across as, while there is clearly some comedy attempts here, and some attempts at serialness, it's very much an obvious play from somebody who knows how to work the system with Ragebait, baiting out all of those haters to get the engagement. And you cannot argue that she doesn't have any pull, but for somebody with the amount of followers she has, 400,000 plus in fact, I'm somewhat surprised her tweets don't get that kind of traction. She doesn't have the ability of Andrew Tate, who's also known for being a bit of a baiter, a masterful one, you might argue. So, now that 2024 is coming to a close, it's time to vote for our most important award, Catfish of the Year. All the emojis. I want to give special thanks to Filters, Plastic Surgeons, FaceTime app that make all this possible. Please vote by liking and retweeting the lovely ladies in the thread below. I also want to thank someone for bringing attention to these lovely ladies. Rate proposed community notes if you notice when I click on that. Wearing makeup and taking professional or better quality photos for avatars of professionalism use, professional use even, is a normal thing widely accepted by society and apparently by Pearl on her own profile. There is a tweet, in fact, connected to that, basically confirms it because, yes, she took a professional photo on her profile. Her banner as well, for that matter. These are professionally done. It can't be argued. The backdrop is the giveaway here. So the first on her list, the red-headed libertarian. Josie is a 40-year-old conservative tweeter who made us think she looked 28 and hot. Unfortunately, she is a mid like the rest of us. This is how I know she's baiting them out, because I've seen red-headed libertarians' tweets. I've seen people who are in their 50s who still look great. If you're trying to bait people out to look 28, fair play to you. I don't think red-headed libertarians are after simps though, but I could be wrong. Next though, Sydney Sweeney. I saw the pictures on the right doing their rounds with many people saying, look at her, she's mid at best, it's just the boobs, she's mid and chubby. I'm sorry, I saw a picture of Jason Momoa when he wasn't working out because he had to take time off. I saw it with Vin Diesel too, and he appeared 2 days later after what must have been the biggest poop of all time to suddenly appear ripped again. You cannot stay in shape all year round, unless you're on steroids. Hi Dwayne Johnson. Sydney Sweeney portrayed herself to be a blonde bombshell, but unfortunately without the professional makeup, she looks like another college girl at University of Arizona. I feel like there's a remark there. I don't know what it is. A joke about the University of Arizona. So if anyone in the comments can tell me, like the two people who may see this video, let me know. Next up, Paige Spiranak, professional golfer, social media personality, and model. Well, already model is the part here that matters. Models are renowned for using filters, for looking perfect, picturesque, having those, looks and bodies and stuff. It's kind of a part of that game. Paige portrayed herself as a solid 9.5. Under the filters, she looks like my childhood babysitter. Facetune can't hide a lot. In this case, it hid £20. We all thought Lolita Diaries was a Puerto Rican bombshell, but unfortunately the receipts came out. She did threaten to sue me over this post, but I refused to be silenced. I don't know who this is. I thought in the last picture it was the Twitch streamer Sunfire. I'm sure someone's now going to make a joke or say that Meg's racist here. It's not that. There is a similarity between Sunfire and the last picture on that list. I know nothing of this person, so I'm not going to offer any commentary. I know that there is a difference between what we see and what is reality. It's all a part of entertainment. Pearl seems to think that that aspect should not be accepted and should in some way remove your voice from any conversation. That's what I get from it anyway, and I could be wrong. Please tell me in the comments if I am. All two of you. Next up, Sabrina Carpenter, a phenomenal singer and pop sensation. Now, over the summer, I had heard a couple of her songs, briefly, and then I immediately turned it off and put the metal back on. She's not my kind of music person. I only know of her because of those one or two songs, and because her live shows were charging through the nail. Next, you have, isn't that Melanie Mac? Melanie Mac? Is that who it is? Yes. The one who says, the Mr. Brains word all the time. If you know what Mr. Brains are, that word. I like them. I can't say it in YouTube videos though. Shameful, really, because they go really well with mashed potato, gravy and some veg. Next, Courtney somebody, a conservative thirst trapper. And the pictures included are the first one, yes, in a bikini. The second, a more casual photo that could look like it was taken with a family. Next, Isabella De Luca. Now, I know for a fact, because I've seen Isabella Luca's tweets, and I've seen Pearl. These two have had a back and forth, using pictures of each other to drive home points about how they're mid. Isabella has been taking a lot of pictures of late in dresses. Some people accusing her of posting what came close to looking like nudity or exposing underwear, when she herself has been very anti that. I don't have the picture to hand, and also I don't want to put it in a video because I'll get done for nudity, no doubt. It's a weird system over here. But I've also seen Isabella putting pictures of Pearl on her Twitter, showing Pearl's body, which I will admit, no offense to you, Pearl, you have the most androgynous body I've ever seen. You've got long legs, but you also have a very, I'm not saying masculine frame, but I could believe it was a B-Tech version of a dad bod. And I say B-Tech, that's being generous. Next, Brittany Venti. Now, Brittany Venti is a tricky one. I'm not going to say anything about Brittany because I know she had posted on Twitter she was going to be taking a break. She was retiring, as it were, from this space. So, to be honest, she shouldn't be included just because of retirement, right? I know she has goals in her life and wants nothing to do with this kind of crap. Next, Chrissy Mayer. Now, I have a tweet from Chrissy. Is it Chrissy Ma or Mayer? Included are a couple pictures of interest. Now, I'm going to actually go to Chrissy's tweet because she retweeted Pearl by saying, I used the old lady filter on myself in that swimsuit photo, Pearl. It says face app in the corner. I'll go back to my husband and baby now, wishing you the same for 2025. Because Pearl had said, nothing like a mother of one trying to prove she still got it. This is the picture in question. The face app part really, come on Pearl, you got to do some intellectual honesty here. There are two more people. Sarah Gonzalez, nothing like a mother or two trying to prove she still got it. I'll be honest, the first picture is a professional shot. That much is obvious enough. The second is a casual home selfie. I like that you think more people are going to tune into or view somebody like Sarah when they're, well, at home in sweats, chilling, no doubt, with their kids or watching TV over, someone looking like they're professional. Because that is what the professional standard is now. Maybe we should change that. Maybe that should be changed. Maybe that would help the mainstream media, and it would certainly go so far as to give some aid to the dying networks who recently were gullible enough to put Whitney Cummings on for New Year's Eve. That woman's got a mouth, and I absolutely love the crap that comes out of it. I think she's very funny. And I know some people might disagree with me on that. That's totally fine. Comedy is subjective. But I found her funny years ago. I still do now. The final one, last two submissions, sorry. You have Ada somebody, a conservative tweeter, who we thought was a solid 8.5. Unfortunately, under the contour and fillers, looks like an average woman in any major city. Finally, Anna from TWG. I don't know who that is. I guess she wasn't going to win because she's on very few likes compared to others. Now, many, in the replies to Pearl, have outright said that you went with the most unflattering photos on purpose, which is totally fair game in this space. It's Twitter after all, we're allowed to do that to each other, surely, right? But you're posting those when they still look better than you at your best. That is a prevailing theme in the replies. Pearl did later tweet, "Are the catfishes committing fraud with plastic surgery, filters and makeup?" It didn't get many interactions, but generally the response is yes, they are committing fraud. The issue here is that is only if you've confirmed someone is a catfisher, but you're basing it on what you determine a catfisher to be, so I guess you have, right? Your version isn't the actual version, right? Friend of mine, that 70s bitch, thank you for being bitter enough to make a thread of pretty ladies. I agree with this, by the way. Mally Mouse. First of all, retweeting Pearl. Pearl just showed us all that she does not know what catfishing is. Secondly, I find it baffling that the same woman who constantly gives unwarranted public advice on men and relationships is almost 30, single, childless, a grifter, and looks like Sid the Sloth. She should add me to her catfish list, since I wear fake eyelashes. The winners of the Catfish of the Year awards were the Red-Headed Libertarian, Lolita Diaries, and Brittany Venti. Replies underneath are also not on her side, by the way. Legit. Some people memeing that she could have passed for an actress or a character from Mean Girls. I noticed under many of Pearl's tweets, a user called Mandy Arthur had been active, right? The first one would have been straight after the announcement of the winners, atting Red-Headed Libertarian by proving that Red-Headed Libertarian had ratioed Pearl on this entirely. More likes, more engagement, more interactions. The second time, under the countdown to the ladies' selfies proving they still got it, yeah, that one, I wasn't questioning, I just said it wrong. Mandy had replied, "If I looked like Pearl, I would be kind like Mother Teresa. I would be starting charities and saving babies. And I would never call attention to my looks, let alone criticize someone else's. The lack of self-awareness with this chick is entertainment in itself." To be honest, if any of them do post selfies, it just drives more engagement to them, not to you. And many of those that have replied to you, and I mentioned Chrissy on purpose, Chrissy got a fair bit of traction here too. On the tweet where you had outed Chrissy, you got 686 likes. A lot of views though. On Chrissy's 2.2k likes. Nowhere near as many views, but with Chrissy's, it's argued to be a reverse catfish based on what you consider a catfish to be anyway, Pearl. The insecurity part becomes more prevalent and you are a very bitter individual. I remember, was it Lauren Chen? Are we allowed to talk about Lauren on this platform anymore? Roaming Millennial, got yeeted, haven't been active on social media ever since. Yeah, are we allowed to do that? I remember you having to sit down with Lauren. Was it Lauren? Yeah. That was interesting to hear you two talk, because I was half surprised you hadn't said anything untoward towards her more often. You had some back and forth, but then that comes from a place of insecurity, doesn't it? She's married, she has children. You have nothing. So that's why many people like to think that Pearl is very insecure. Because Pearl has everything, except for the very things she dunks on others, yet the majority of them already have that. Under the guise of, you've catfished. It's like half the guys that you have criticised, or girls, women, they've already lived the part of life that you have yet to experience. All because you're an insufferable twerp. I would like to end this video, the first of 2025, by presenting you with this trophy. Congratulations, Pearl. You're an insecure, grifting, hypocritical, deranged, petty, jealous, and stocky smeghead.